Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Dale Caldwell. I have the honor of being the Executive Director of the Fairleigh Dickinson University Rothman Institute of Innovation and Entrepreneurship. I want to welcome you to our 30th Annual Family Business of the Year Awards. I want to begin, the Rothman team first. Sue Slavin, would you stand? Maura Panuski. They did much of the work. As some of you know, I had been ill for a while, and so they really stepped up and really helped to pull this together. This is really an exciting time for us. As many of you know, I have a show, and some of you have been on the show, called Family Business World, another show at RVN Television called Entrepreneur State of Mind. And so we're all in on entrepreneurship and for family businesses. And we recognize how hard it is out there, how lonely it is out there, and so we do this every year so that, in fact, last year people were saying, well, I hadn't spent so much time with family businesses. I didn't know there were so many folks dealing with the same thing. So we really encourage you to network and connect here because you don't get a chance to do this that often. So first we want to just talk about some of the honorees. I'll read them all, and then we can give them a round of applause. The Alfred Sanzeri Enterprises, AWT Environmental, Eastern Janitorial, Equilium, F&S Digital, Roman Jewelers, Shovelin Mattress, Telecloud, Traffican CPAs and Wealth Advisors, the Walter Group, and York Building Services. Please give them a round of applause. Our interviewers and judges, which is a really, really difficult job, Tony Russo from CIA&J, Sally Glick from Sobel Co., Donna Miller and Kelly Loro, C3 Workplace, Les Aaron, Bellaria Jimenez, Mass Mutual Tri-State, Robin Silva and Brian Smith, Brosh Schweiger Jewelers, and Chrissy Buteas, who was with the NJBIA. Let's give them a round of applause. We wouldn't exist without our event sponsors. A special shout out, as they say, to Sobel Co., who's been a long-term sponsor, a very, very major accounting firm. They interviewed nominees. Sally Glick is going to be the co-MC for the event, and you've just been some great friends and partners for this event. Likewise, lastly, let's give them a round of applause. Thomas Clark from Lasso, which is video marketing. You're going to see another amazing video from them a little later. And so we just thank you for your partnership. Give them a round of applause, too. Tony Russo and NJBIA, NJ Business Magazine, has been a partner and a collaborator, has really helped us with many of our Friday webinars and others. And so they've been a long-term partner. Give them a round of applause. And I think it's important to applaud individually because these event sponsors, and so often, sponsorship is a challenging thing. And so these kinds of critical events wouldn't happen without their support. The C3 Workplace, Donna Miller has been a friend and partner, and thank you for your sponsorship and support. And then the Commerce and Industry Association of New Jersey, which is an extraordinary chamber. It does all sorts of incredible events. Let's give them a round of applause. There are several other sponsors that sponsor the Institute as a whole, a number of our individual programs and operations. TD Bank, the Jezra Foundation, the Bank of America, and NJ Bankers all are just so critical to our survival as an institute. Let's give them a round of applause. I now have an opportunity to introduce my boss, the Dean of the Silberman College Business School of the Fairleigh Dickinson University. Pierre has been just a tremendous supporter. He's become a good friend. He has been, I can't think of a dean in America that is more supportive of entrepreneurship, more supportive of family businesses. He grew up in a family business. You're going to learn a little bit about family businesses before he's done. But Pierre, I just want to publicly thank you, and together we're going to make FDU one of the premier entrepreneurship universities in the world. And so with your support, we're on our way. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Pierre Balthazar.
Dale, I told you I'd surprise you. Actually, I thought very hard about this, and I said, hey, maybe I should wear a New York Yankees hat, but I would be pandering if I did that. I also know, because of geographically where we are, half of you have no idea what I've got on, okay? Number 22 in NASCAR is driven by a guy named Joey Logano, okay? And he won the race in Vegas, okay, a couple of days ago. So in honor of him, I'm wearing that. No, not at all. I'm wearing this because it's the single item that I own, without saying a word, that to an audience that knows about family businesses would know that I'm a fan of family businesses. Okay? Even if you have no idea about what NASCAR is, you've probably heard the family name Penske, or Earnhardt, or Joe Gibbs. NASCAR is in fact a federation, or I'll call it an ecosystem of family business. And they show up every Sunday to bash each other, okay? And it's kind of a great thing. But there's more to it, to this cap. And in fact, I could have worn a Yankees cap and I would be able to say the exact same thing. On the side of this cap, there's a little logo. And you will see that logo on every cap of every major league, whether you are in the United States, Canada. The CFL just adopted these guys, okay, if you're into the Canadian Football League. Major soccer, okay, in Europe and whatever. What's this logo? It's the New Era Cap Company of Buffalo, New York. A family business since 1910 from the Koch family. About 1,600 employees around the world, and they've got every major contract, okay? So family businesses are part of who we are. So look, I knew I had to do something special because it is the 30th, Dale, right? So I decided that as a dean, I would spend just a couple of minutes to set the stage. And to set the stage, I thought that at first, and hopefully I pressed the right button. There we go. There we go. We would do a family business Jeopardy. Okay? So the first, the category. We always need a category, right? So the category is family business by the numbers. Okay? And this is not meant to take half hour, so I'm going to go very, very quickly with this, but just make you think. If the answer is 5.5 million, well, what's the question? What's the number of family businesses in the U.S.? So we are not alone. If the answer is 24%, you might be surprised about this. The percentage of family businesses that are led by a female CEO or president. Now, while we're on the number 24, how about if the answer is just 24? 24. Well, 24 is the average lifespan in years of a family-owned business. Now, you all know about the dreaded third generation, right? Last year, many of you that were here learned that I am the epitome of the third generation, which means I'm no longer in the family business. 77%. So the answer is 77%. And this one is the important one for a business dean, because I'm always surprised how few AACSB accredited schools don't have a program that supports family businesses. Why is it that the Rothman Institute is doing something so special? Well, the percentage of new business ventures in the U.S. that are founded with significant involvement of the family. So we can talk about, Amazon and Google as much as you want, but we are the fabric of the United States economy. So look, this tells you what my college does Okay, there's a lot of stuff there. Okay, whether it's the Friday Zoom session, okay, with Dale's group, or the fact that we are now getting into workforce development through Coursera in our community, and a variety of other stuff. We still do talent acquisition, so whether you're looking for interns. By the way, the invitation is there. If you've got a project that you think is interesting, we would love to send a group of students to study your organization at very little cost to you. In fact, probably no cost to you. So that's what we mean. And look, the last one on this list says e-zones. If you haven't talked to Dale recently, ask him about e-zones, and then, you know, maybe you'll get a cup of coffee out of him, because it'll take time. Now, this is where I come from. Okay, many moons ago, this is a little store in Montreal, Canada, where I've been telling people that I learned to become a dean by dealing with the public on Main Street, basically in Montreal. That's why it's in French. That's why my name is Pierre, Montreal. So it's about 5.5 hours by car up Route 87. Okay, I was third generation. I decided to get a PhD instead. That said, I know how to run this operation. In the front row, you will see lighters, okay, from the Zippo Corporation of Pennsylvania. I used to repair Zippo lighters. Not many deans have done that. This was also a joke shop, and also it says tobacconist. I did sell Cuban cigars when Cuban cigars were completely illegal in the US. Why? Because I'm in Canada, right? It wasn't illegal out there. Anyways. But you see, I'm the third generation. And I'm the third generation that closed up shop, walked away, and did something else, like most organizations. So I decided as a dean that I would share with you a few pieces of information that might be completely useless, but interesting anyways at lunch. So these are examples of the world's oldest family companies. I wanted to know, is it good at fourth generation? Are you super rare at fifth generation? How many generations out there? Because we all know that family businesses come in all shapes, all sizes, all organizational structures, and they all have succession plans. I know because you've gone through all of these yourselves. So some of the examples. Now, I have to set it up. I've done this research. It's not scientific. However, everything that you're going to see is accurate. And I want to see at first if you see a theme. Okay? So my first company is Antinori. They do wines, and they're in Florence, Italy. They were founded in 1385, and they are in the 19th generation. Anybody match that in the room? The thing is that bottle, you can get it at the local shop today. That's pretty amazing to me. So I continued looking, and I found, hey, Ketel One. Okay, now that's a brand everybody recognizes. They're from the Netherlands, and they were founded in 1691, and they claim to be in the 10th generation. Wow, okay. Here's my third one. Marie Brizard, okay, from Bordeaux, France. Okay, they do some fine liqueurs, orange liqueurs, and all types of other fine stuff that I partake over my life. Founded in 1755, so they're the young ones at only 8th generation. So you figured out the theme, right? Booze. Okay? So I worked hard at finding another example that wasn't booze. And I found it. Okay? The Rydell Company. You need a glass to drink the booze. They've been around since 1756, 11th generation. Ta-da! Okay? So now I decided, okay, let's bring it to this side of the ocean. And some of you probably know the oldest, at least the company credited to be the oldest family business in the United States, with their beginning in the Armenian part of the world. Any ideas? Has nothing to do with booze. Actually, indirectly, okay? It's the entertainment organization. Oh, actually, I've got one more. I found this late last night, so I added, okay? We're still in Europe. Tobacco pipes. I wanted to show at least an example that wasn't booze-oriented, okay? So pipes. So this is from Gouda, again, the Netherlands, 1749, 8th generation. And clearly, if it wasn't for this company, we would not know Sherlock Holmes. But getting back to the United States, the oldest company is the Siljan Cymbal Company. Wow. Okay, so I said entertainment, booze, partying, okay? Founded in 1623, 14th generation on this side of the Atlantic. Now, we're known for things such as agriculture, okay, the farm. I found out that many of our older businesses are undertakers, bars and restaurants, okay? So here are some examples. The Backman Funeral Home in Strasburg, Pennsylvania, 9th generation. I had fun with that with my son last night, saying, how would you like to be? Hey, Joey, you're 7 years old and you already know you're going to be the 10th generation undertaker. Okay, we've got that. How about this one? I found this one to be the oldest New Jersey family business. And at some point now, I have to go drive down and go and check them out. It's in Sewell, and it's a restaurant called Barnesboro Inn. Anybody have been? Okay, it's been in that family for 11 generations, opened in 1720. I think that's a wow, okay? So I found that, and unless somebody proves me otherwise, I do believe that's the oldest, okay, family business in our state. And at some point, maybe we should give them a special prize because of that and invite them next year. Anyways, look, my time is up, okay, but I just wanted to kick us off by saying, look, there's an energy and a passion around family businesses. We are so happy that you're here. Congratulations to all the awardees and the people that were nominated. You really deserve, okay, the praise, because you are, in fact, the backbone of the United States economy, and because of you guys, I get a job, and I get to give you weird speeches once a year. But seriously, you heard what Dale had to say. This comes from the dean. Okay, we're defining FDU as the most local business focused and probably the most local business friendly university in the state, one business at a time. So don't be shy, contact us, and we'll be more than happy to deal with you. Thank you so much.
You can see why I love working with him. He's amazing. One of the things that Pierre didn't really talk as much about is he's really been pushing about this thing called Coursera. So we have the opportunity to create courses for all of you at very, very low cost. So if you're looking to train employees or others, we want to be that resource. And so we're looking to be the external connection. So, and we'll customize it for you. So that really is one of the things. We want to make sure you are as successful as a local family business as possible. So now we have the opportunity to have a welcome from some of our sponsors. Aurora Rosado Lazaro, a member of Sobelco, who's part of the family, is going to come up and say some words, and then we'll hear from Donna Miller. Please come on up. Give her a round of applause. Nice to meet you. Yes.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here. I can definitely testify to some of the things that the dean said about family businesses being the lifeblood of the economy and of our state. I saw that most recently during COVID, and seeing the way that family businesses were able to sustain our economy, keep people employed, and it makes me really happy to be able to do what I do. At Sobel, I work with our client accounting and advisory services, where we can be a client's complete back office or just fill a role. So we've really gotten to work hand in hand with family businesses, and I'm really happy and proud to be part of the community, even if it's on the outside. And I see faces in here, and I'm really excited, so thank you, and thank you for letting us be a sponsor.
Donna Miller really is not only a sponsor, but she's part of the Rothman family. You've been part of it. Please come on up and share a few words.
Hello, everyone. I am thrilled to be here. So C3 Workplace has been around for almost 30 years, and in those 30 years, I've had the great good fortune of literally helping thousands of companies to start and grow. We do that by providing on-demand office space, all kinds of back office, administrative and financial support, project management, lots and lots of things, and I now live in the land of business growth consulting. And what I've learned over the years and why I love supporting this family business initiative is because my children unfortunately have zero interest in my business, but I have so enjoyed being involved in this initiative, in talking to all the family businesses, because what it comes down to is, in today's marketplace, we've got the great resignation, we've got quiet quitting, now we've got some boomeranging going on. But the truth is, we have to treat our people like family, because we have to give them an environment where they want to come to work, where they feel like they're contributing to something, where they're working for a cause that's greater than them. And maybe that's just my Pollyanna view of the world, but that's what I've tried to do with my company. And so what I do at my company and what Fairleigh Dickinson is doing with this Family Business Initiative is so aligned. And I love interviewing all of you and hearing how you put people first, and how there are no boundaries at Thanksgiving dinner. Apparently, it's work as usual. So I'm delighted to be here. I love supporting Dale and Susan and Maura on this initiative, and I wish all of you the best of luck. Thanks so much.
Sobel, Cole, and Don are the among the best in the business. So they really know what they're talking about. So now I have an opportunity to introduce someone who's become a good friend, a former winner of the New Jersey Family Business of the Year Awards. I've had him on my show, Family Business World. We've talked about doing some work to really help folks in the community get jobs, and he has such a big heart, and really is just the epitome of family businesses. What people don't realize is that family businesses are the best place to work in America. You know, you folks treat people with such care and concern in ways that we don't see in big corporations or even nonprofits or government. And so Dennis is the epitome of that. And so he's the president of McCullough Contracting, Inc., a family-owned and operated New Jersey-based excavation and demolition company since 1946. In 2020, they won our Family Business of the Year awards. Dennis is a very active participant in many organizations throughout the construction industry and beyond. He's on the board of directors of the New Jersey Land Improvement Contractors of America as the vice president. He's active in the Commerce and Industry Association of New Jersey. He also participates in New Jersey Environmental Business Council meetings. Additionally, he's a member of our Family Business Alliance and part of our peer-to-peer mentoring program. And so, and that's what Dennis does, but who he is really someone very special. And so, Dennis, I'd like to invite you up to make a few comments. Thank you so much for having me.
What's that? No, I'm good. So I am the dreaded third generation that Pierre was talking about. So we've made it 76 years and we're moving forward. But first, I'd like to say congratulations to everybody in this room. It's just quite an honor to be up here, considering back in 2019 was the first time we found out about the Family Business Award. Good friend of mine also, who does some of our marketing, Joe Giovanoli from Nine Sales, said, "Hey, listen, I'm going to nominate your family for the Family Business of the Year at FDU." I'm like, "That's great," and did a little research what that was. And that's, kind of went through the process that everybody here went through in 2019 with the interviews. I got to meet Sally Glick, and we had a wonderful lunch over at Sweet Basil. I remember we talked for a couple hours or however long it went. And about a month or so later, I got an email from Dale saying that we have not been selected to move forward. So everybody in this room here was already ahead of where we were in 2019. And we did it again in 2020. We went right back at it. This time it was a little different in 2020, kind of as everybody remembers, going through the pandemic, right? So now these interviews are moved to Zoom, and we did it again. And I said, I didn't give it a lot of thought throughout the years, but just approach. And it kind of talked about it, and Don was just talking about before about the employees and family members. And I in 2020, I remember the key thing talking about was our employees. We've been around now 76 years. We've been around forever. Our employees that are not family members have had at that point an 18 or 19 average tenure with our company. And in the construction industry and any industry, as you know, that's a great time. So that is what I really think, we talk about family business and everything. It is the employees. The employees are family, or else we wouldn't be here. And that's something that I'll never forget talking about that, and probably most of the interview was about that and different initiatives and different things we did with our business. But it's the employees, not as much as the family while I'm standing up here now. And I just remembered meeting Dale for the first time was via Zoom when we actually won, and just kind of getting hooked into the whole everything that FDU was doing, and it's quite amazing. 2021, for this exact same ceremony, we were able to come back and receive. It was nice because we knew we won, so we were able to receive the award in person, from the year before, because you didn't have that during the pandemic. So we were presented the award, and I'll never forget that day. It was, this time last year, we were sitting there, and, I had a table full. I had, my father there, and, my wife was with us, and a couple of our key employees were with us. And I'll never forget, because I have two pictures in my office right now. One is with Tony Russo and my father and myself from CINJ, which we talk about all the time. One with Dale and our family after winning. And we're walking out to the parking lot, and Kathy just gave a great keynote speech, and we were talking about family. And I said, Dad, do you know what the problem is? And he said, no, but you're going to tell me. So, kind of going back and forth. So, my father, 66 at the time, I was 4, I said, they're going to throw us a retirement party at the same time. And there's nothing I enjoyed more than going to work, with my father and our family every day. And he showed no signs of slowing down, and he was going to keep going. And we talked about that. I said, we just have to be ready when we both step aside, because when I'm in my 60s and you're still going, I'm not going to be ready to take over the business at that point. And some of you in the first or second generation or third generation know exactly what I'm talking about. I was not trying to push him out the door. I wanted him there as long as he wanted to be, but I wanted to start talking about what's the plan. Well, the plan for us changed. So very shortly after that luncheon, and Thanksgiving's coming along, my father got sick, COVID, passed away, 66. 30 days later, lost our mother, same thing. So you talk about succession planning, but you talk about family succession planning, right? Your whole life. You don't expect these things to happen. And part of my topic today, and we're going to bring it back up a little bit, but I want to let you know, there's some conversations that need to be had within families of generation, which is why we're here. We talk about how hard it is, and again, the one number I remember, like 12% of the families make it to the third generation, and I know it gets, it's single digits to the fourth generation, which is what we're staring at now. So talk a little bit now about like our family business. We, again, a 76-year-old construction business. You can imagine what that was like growing up. You knew what you were going to do, If I wanted a baseball bat, I was sweeping floors. If I wanted the glove to go with it, I'm washing a Mack dump truck, or whatever. But it's those lessons you learn through a family business which really propelled me, to have that pride that we still continue. We talk about, again, everything going on with employees and this and right and drive and dedication. But that was passed on from the older generations, and now I'm trying to pass that on to our family and our employees. You talk, and everybody here, we can all probably relate, like, some of those pictures that were up before. Everybody in our family at some point worked at the family business. My grandfather, who started it in 1946, started it with a shovel and a pickup truck, right, very shortly after World War II. My father and his two brothers, before they, my father's oldest brother worked for years and then decided to get out and become a plastic surgeon. The second generation, like we've all been there before. My nephew right now, who's, our nephew who's a freshman at Syracuse University, just spent the last, this summer interning with us before he went into the business school, did projects there. So the great thing about family business, you can provide opportunities for a lot of members in your family, but it's not for everybody. A little bit, and it's interesting when you think about family business, I think a lot about my past and how I got, besides having the last name of the business, how I got involved or how I wanted to get involved. I'll never forget my junior year of high school. everybody in here remembers some situations in their life that were very pivotal. I sat down with my guidance counselor, and he said, what do you, we're talking about schools and this, and I wanted to play college football a little long, I wanted to continue my football career. And I said, he goes, what do you want to do, or maybe I told him what I wanted to do because of his answer, and he said, hey, I want to go into, sports broadcasting or sports journalism, because I know I can't play forever, but it's not sports, I love sports. And he looked at me with that face, he's like, well, you're just going to go into the family business like the rest of your family. And at that point, I took a step back and I thought about it. Like, at that point, I'm a junior in high school. It's not my passion. It wasn't my passion at that point to go into the family business. There was, there's a lot. I wanted to create my own name, Growing up in Clifton, our business was recognizable by its location where it was, so everybody just assumed, oh, you'll go into the family business like everybody else, kind of like the Undertaker picture over there. And I wanted my last name for a while to have something to do with something other than the business. It wasn't a pride factor or with the business, it was me personally. One of the things I went, I played, I ended up, I played through my high school career. I played into my freshman year. I got hurt my freshman year of college playing football, had a couple concussions. I tend to forget some things, but they're only around the house, according to my wife. So you guys just she said I can remember something from 20 years ago of a play I called on the football field, but I can't remember to take something off the top cabinet. But we laugh about that all the time, how that memory goes. But I wanted my name to be something different, and something different from the family business. So I went into coaching. I still worked. I still went to school. I still was there, but I wanted to kind of create my own path. I was very fortunate. I got hooked up with a family friend who was the president or principal of John F. Kennedy in Patterson. I spent 3 years working in Patterson there. At 20, I was driven now. I started to love working in the inner city. I started working with kids and giving hope. And Dale and I have spent a lot of conversations about, doing what's right for certain communities. I was driven at that point. At 22 years old, I was able, I was fortunate to become a head football coach. At that point, was the youngest in the state. I was still working at the family business. I was still doing that, finishing up my schooling. And at 22, I was able to do that. That school closed down in Patterson. I went to another school and really spent 2 great years there working with kids that really needed our help, and guidance. Well, then there came the conversation with my father, because after the 2003 season and early 2004, I had an opportunity to leave and become a full-time college football coach. And I had an offer from Hofstra University. They loved the work I was doing, and now it's, what do? Do I step outside my comfort zone? So I go have that uncomfortable conversation, which I think I'm going to have with my father, right? Walk down, office, sit down. He said, hey, Dad. I said, I got an offer. And he looks at me. I said, Hofstra University wants to bring me on full-time football coach. He's like, that's great. He's like, when do you leave? and I looked at him. I'm like, well, not valuing what I'm doing here, Is there something I need to know? He goes, no. He's like, you're young, you're single. He's like, now's the time to do you. And I never forgot that. So left to Hofstra, and then I guess, for 2004 and 2005 and into 2006, I was up there full time. And college football, it looks great on TV, but it is 20 hours a day, and it is going all over the country recruiting. And I guess, my father was still calling me on certain things, so I guess in 2004 or 5, I was a consultant before that became a cool title, so we were able to keep the relationship. 2005, our head coach at Hofstra, now, I'm really looking to expand on this career. And the head coach at that time comes to me and says, in the middle of the season, he announces his retirement. He goes, I want to talk to you tomorrow. So he comes in, he's like, what are you planning on doing? I said, well, I got an offer to go to Kansas. I got an offer to go to here, or follow this guy, follow that guy. He goes, sit down. Sits me down. He goes, you're a family guy. He goes, you're not going to want to raise a family all over the country. He goes, you got a great family business. You still want to coach football, go back to New Jersey. He goes, marry that beautiful blonde girl that you've been dating. What did he say? We probably met at Pearl Vision, because you don't have good vision. If you wanted to be with me, and you guys could all see that's the truth. And we had this unbelievable conversation. And for the first time, I wanted to go back to our family business. And back by the sense of, I thought about all the, I wanted to be there. I stepped out, was able to create my own name outside of the business. But the passion drew me back, wanting to work with my father, wanting to work with my uncles. I was very fortunate when I was younger to still see my grandfather's hard work ethic. And I wanted to take everything I learned from coaching and bring that to our family business. Because all it is dealing with people, no matter whose business we're in. Whether you're coaching college athletes, high school athletes, construction, all of our businesses in here, right? It's how you treat your people. And I learned that from my family. That was echoed into my coaching. And I really, now I wanted to come back. I had that conversation with my father, said, I want to come back. Here's what I want to do. And we kind of had this amazing partnership for years, from 2006 up until his passing this past December. The great thing about, my role in the company, and I was just, from 2006, I remember coming back, and this is hard to imagine, but, emails, websites, we didn't have. If somebody wanted to email him something, it was to AOL, his personal one at AOL.com. So I kind of said, all right, my third generation, what my mark on the business is going to be. Because I think that's very important as you go through the generations. We all want to do something to help move forward. Mine was the technology, moving us into the next generation. Technology, starting to get involved in networking, starting to get in that. Getting our company involved in community services. We're very fortunate to win one of the companies who care for CIANJ this year for some of the work that we've done in the communities. I joined the board of directors. I was able to also follow my dream of continuing to coach football, after the work hours to do that. And unlike college, I think I was home for dinner on most of the nights on time. Most, that could be. We talk about succession planning, right? We all have to go through it. We all have to talk about it. We all have the plans. There's the buy-sell agreements. It's more than that. And I've learned that lesson this past year. And if there's something that I want to share with you, it's those conversations. It's not, the stuff behind the scenes is important. And we had the Zoom at noon when we talked about, dealing with trauma in the family business, which we did, in the immediate succession plan that no one expected had to go into place. It's more than, again, it's more than the stocks and making sure everything behind it. It's the conversations. Hey, if something happens, right? If something happens, who's taking over? Who's in charge? Where are the licenses? Where are the registrations, right? Passwords, right? Think about these little things. Thank God I had access to my father's computer because I handled the technology stuff. Get the emails, get the passwords, get this. You have to think about these things as you're going through the family, every year because, and I think this is some of the stuff I took back from being a football coach, was football coaches prepare for more situations that never happen. And I don't think businesses do that enough. I've seen that. Like we prepare for every situation in the game that never takes place, right? And every end of the year, I'd run a nightmare scenario with my technology guy. I said, okay, pretend that server gets wiped out. Do we have everything backed up? Where can we find it? All right, this place gets flooded. Do we still have our certifications? Do we still have everything? And we would do that annually every year. And I think that has to kind of be taking place in the succession planning with, okay, I'm going to step down. If something happens to me, can we still operate tomorrow? What happens? What type of plans? Does the generation underneath you want to take over the business? Or are you in just a situation where you're doing it there, again, sharing knowledge back and forth between the, but I definitely think those situations have to be talked about in family succession. Again, I'm a living proof because that happened. We never had that. Our family, like I said, our father and mother, within 30 days passed away. Leaving here last year, this happened. This happened to us. And I'm not, it's not going to happen here, but these are the conversations. And I think the conversations go either way. I think the generation, the older generation could sit down with the son and daughter and say, listen, is this something you want to take over? When should I start getting you ready? The generation who's maybe trying to find their self. Hey, mom, dad, listen, I want to take over the business. What steps do I need to take to be in that position? So I think there's a lot of conversations. Some of them are hard. I wouldn't, because sometimes the generation's not ready to let go. Sometimes the generation underneath doesn't want to take over. And I think those are very valuable conversations that everybody should have. And hopefully if you get one thing from me today, that's one of them. You know, we talked about it before, and I thought Donna did a great thing talking about people, right? You know, and I learned that, like, people are your organizations, people are your family. I remember in the office with my father, and we're bidding this big environmental job, and he's got speakerphone, he's got me in there for input, and all of a sudden he looks out the window, his eyes are all like, and he tells the person on the phone who we're just ready to go over everything, he's like, I got to call you back in about half an hour. Click. He's like, Steve's here. I said, who's Steve? He said, yeah, Steve, I played high school football with him. And he goes, he just drove up from Florida. He goes, I want to talk to him. I'm like, Dad, the bid, we got to get the bid in. He goes, it'll wait. He always put people who are in front of him, and it's tough these days, right? Our phones are going off. We're all going to leave here and check our emails and our text messages and everything. But he was always present, you know, and I think that's so important. You know, during our holidays, during our families, and during everything, it's not easy. Business comes up all the time when you're in a family, and I think he did a great job, which I learned as far as the separation of that. There's time to talk about it, and there's sacred time where it's family time. And I think that those are some of the lessons I learned from him. Quick story I'd love to share with you about employees. I was younger at the time. I remember I was in his office, and one of our new employees, within a week, took a Mack dump truck, got too close to a hole, and backed it into the hole. So you can imagine that. Shut down the job. We had to get a bunch of machines over there to pull the truck out. Everybody was okay. And I'm like, you know, I'm a young kid, so I'm like, oh, how's Dad going to handle this one? So I go down in his office because I know this is going to play out. Not the way I thought. So I go in the office, the employee comes in, you know, he's kind of teared up. He says to my father, thank you for the opportunity. He's like, you know, I'm going to be on my way. He's like, where are you going? He's like, I'm fired, right? He goes, you hurt? He goes, no. Did you do it on purpose? No. He goes, I'll see you tomorrow. He goes, just listen to the operator and don't back down close to the hole. And he put the person over any financial difficulty, anything slowing down first. He was with us for over 25, almost 30 years, that employee, until he retired. And people are going to make mistakes in business, right? Family members are going to make mistakes. We're going to make mistakes. It's put the people first in your business, and I thought that was great. You know, and everybody has a role in a family business, right? Not everybody can be the CEO. Not everybody could be the president. Not everybody can be the CFO, CMO. You know, there's roles, and I think it's very important to have defined roles within, and I think that's something I learned. You're not stepping on each other's shoes. I think we got along as well as at work and off because we did so many different things, you know, and I had a role, he had a role, my younger brother, my uncles have roles, and I think following that's important. That's one of those conversations that also is very important in family business, to define the roles, and these are definitely things that I've learned. The lesson, and Dale talked about it, is, you know, some of the organizations. Surround yourself with people who have been where you are, where you want to be. You know, being a part of the peer mentoring, peer-to-peer with Dale and FDU has been unbelievable for me. I'm now in the number 1 seat. I'm looking for a number 2, but I'm learning now different ways of different options of things to do, you know, in the CEO role, right? You know, with CINJ, I'm part of the CEO roundtable, which we meet monthly. And it's different businesses, and it's great opportunity to bounce ideas off of each other when you don't have that sounding board anymore. I think that's important. I'm on the board of directors for the New Jersey Land Improvement Contractors. It's businesses that do exactly what we do. We sit in the boardroom. This happened to us. First thing I got calls, do you need employees? Do you need help? Do you need that? Surround yourself with people that are been in your shoes or want to be where you're going to go. It's really going to help everybody. And I for the younger generations here where you're looking up to, I think that really helped me grow outside of the family, to talk to people, right? Because a lot of times in families, we do things as it's been done through the years, right? Through the generations. And a lot of it's successful, but if you have to change with the times, and being involved in so many organizations have definitely happened that. You know, carrying on his legacy. I'm in a situation now where, you know, we were talking about it a lot at the table. You know, I'm third generation. My younger brother's only a couple of years younger than me, so we're the third generation. Underneath that is my 9-year-old daughter, who has a desk in my office but does not want to go into our family business, which I'm okay with. But I have a situation now where we're going to start talking about, where we have been talking about since last December. Okay, what happens? If something happens to me right now, are all the pieces in place for my younger brother to step up, for somebody in the office to know where everything is, because that's very important. When you think about that, when you're a newer business starting out, I would have those plans as early, because the longer you go into this thing, there's more license. It's New Jersey, so there's more licenses, registrations, and everything that we all need. So to understand where that is. Hopefully, like I said, I just wanted to share a couple things, from our standpoint, our family. We're very blessed. We're a very blessed family, and I'm saying that even with what's gone on, because our family has stepped up during this time, and that doesn't happen everywhere, right? You're in a family business. Everybody seems to pull together during the difficult times. We all, it's not, everybody sees, and a lot of us have our last names on businesses, and they see trucks going down the street, or they see storefronts with your name on, but there's a lot that goes into that, and we are blessed, and we are a special group, and we're all connected in here. Right? We're all connected in here. And I think it's important for us to lean on each other. I think it's important to get involved with peer groups and board of directors and different things to continue to get ideas and bounce things off. I hope I make a bunch of new connections today, right? And share ideas. Hopefully I've given you something to think about, right? Through that. That's anytime somebody talks, just something to think about and to bring back. I always try and bring one thing back every time I talk to somebody or hear somebody. So hopefully with the succession planning and conversations, hopefully that'll help. Just a couple quick thank yous. I thank my wife Diana for just being there. Very difficult year, but we're all getting through it. Thank you to Dale. Thank you to Sue, Maura, everything with FDU. You guys have been amazing. Thank you to Tony and the relationship we have with CIA&J. Thank you to a special friend Sally for all you've been there for me. You guys truly are the best. So, guys, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Congratulations, honestly, to everybody in this room. Like I said, 2019 to where we are now, and getting involved with this amazing organization is just outstanding. So, thank you all, you guys. Outstanding group here, and I look forward to connecting with everybody. So, thank you, guys.
Dennis, thank you very much. And I didn't say anything at the beginning, but time flies. It was here last year. I met your dad, and I want to thank you, Dennis, for being so open and honest. And it's tough to really talk about loss to help other family businesses, because we think people are going to live forever. And so hopefully your message will encourage everyone to have a succession plan, to begin to really think about, no matter what age the CEO is, how do you deal with it. So I thank you. Thank you so much for that. So we're going to take about 10 more minutes, finish up. Some of you finished. Finish up your meal, and then we'll get to the awards. First, this is such a great group, and I had a chance to meet many of you, and we're just honored to have all of you here. You really represent the backbone of New Jersey, the backbone of this country, and just thank you for your work and your hard work and your dedication. We know it's difficult, which is why we do this. So now we have a wonderful video created by Lasso, Thomas Clark, who's done this for a number of years for us. And Sue, why don't you get it started?
My father started the business in 1984. He is an immigrant from Ecuador. My mother's from Chile.
So my father was a big part of it. So I technically started the company, but it was a big influence and also a big help in the beginning.
My husband came from a family of jewelers. So his grandfather was the first one who truly started the business.
My brother started the firm in 1970. Firm grew from that period. I came along in 77.
So my grandfather, Alfred Sanzari, who was a Hackensack native and World War II veteran, he founded the company in 1945.
So my grandfather joined the industry back in the 50s. My father went to work under his father in that company. My grandfather retired, my father left, ultimately opened up or bought our company, Rotator Staffing Services.
So the company actually started back in 1972. It wasn't my family. My mother actually bought the business. My parents bought the business. I guess it was in 87.
Fortunately, our father started the company in 1981. My brother Damon, who is he's the eldest born, and Kara joined the company probably 2004, 2005 timeframe. I came a couple years later.
Goes back to my country 13 years ago. So on that time I was reading a couple, I was a normal employee. And then I started to create a new business.
He started working at night as a cleaner. You know, he got a part-time job, and said, I got to do this full time, 1977, and started R&R Maintenance.
We didn't just jump into the business as managers. We went out in the field and we dug ditches and cleaned tanks and painted dumpsters.
Everybody in this company, that as they make decisions or handle things, they handle things in a way that is 100% in line with how we handle business and how we do business and how we treat people.
That no matter how big the store will eventually grow, that family feeling will always be a cornerstone.
When it comes to the family itself, you have to look at things through a lens of love, not cutthroat financials.
And my boys are here working. See if they want to continue on the family business.
We believe in legacy. We want to continue to provide a higher level of service to our clients for many generations to come.
My dad has always taught me this, to have consistency and discipline in everything that we do.
And we've spent a lot of time conversations around how our spouse is treated, how our children treated, how are our children now treated in the eyes of the business.
And we've got a really dedicated team here. Everyone's really a family here. So there's a lot of really exciting stuff ahead.
Since 1945, several members of the Cinzeri family have been deeply involved in different aspects of the company.
And one of the things that makes us a family business is not just that the four of us work here together that are in the same family, but we have at least 4 other families where 2 or more people work here.
My father always said, this country has the opportunity that other countries don't have. And if you work hard enough and if you're persistent, you can achieve anything that you want and nothing can hold you back.
Congratulations to all of you. One of the, so on the show, Family Business World, I always ask folks, when did you get involved in the business? And one of the things I've learned in the 100 companies family business I've interviewed, is that when you start early, sweeping floors, cleaning bathrooms, doing that, you fall in love with the company and you keep it later. And so for those that are younger companies, starting out as a senior VP is the worst thing you can do. It's good to do that. And virtually everyone here, the stories that I hear are those that started cleaning bathrooms and doing, all the not so nice work. And so it's just so nice to see what the evolution of all of you. So now I want to introduce my co-host as far as the award, giving out the awards, Sally Glick. Sally has done this. How many years, Sally? We don't count years. We don't count. Okay, all right. She's done it. She's, with Sobel Co., she is one of the most dynamic people I know, an incredible marketing person. So Sally, come on up, and you'll kick us off.
Thank you for being so discreet, Dale. And thank you to FDU and everyone who has made this possible, especially my friends Sue and Maura. They make this celebration amazing every single year. And it has been a pleasure, let's just say for decades, for me to be here listening to the families, talking about the legacies they've built, seeing the pride that they have in their accomplishments, hearing their success stories. It's as uplifting and inspirational as any experience could be. But what I really have found amazing is that from year to year, every single one of the honorees consistently points to their employees as the reason for their company's success. In many instances, they tell us their employees have been with them for a very long time, often since the company was first founded. It's equally as important that those employees frequently recruit their own family members to join them, perpetuating the connection and contributing to that warm family atmosphere. And that is exactly why I had decided weeks ago that I would talk in brief observation about the important contribution that people make to a family business. I should have known I was not the only one noticing that phenomena. So along comes my good friend Donna Miller, who gets up here and says, it's all about people. And then Dennis follows behind her saying, it's all about people. And here I am to tell you, it is all about people. It seems so unusual to talk about the importance of people when today's headlines focus instead of on employee loyalty or employee longevity. They're filled with the great resignation, the great reshuffling, the quiet quitting, the quiet firing. The percentage of turnover, as now we all have heard, is shocking, and as a result of that disruption, there's staggering staffing shortages and lost revenues across every industry sector. And yet, many family businesses are managing to avoid or at least minimize the human resource challenges that are plaguing so many other companies. So here's what I suggest. You've now heard it 3 times. As you listen to our finalists this morning, this afternoon, pay close attention to how they praise the employees, how they draw on their critical leadership qualities of empathy, good listening skills, sincere concern, and thoughtful communication styles, while engaging and empowering their people in a meaningful way. And if someone says to you, how have you been able to consistently attract and retain high-quality employees, just tell them, it's simple. In my family business, we have values and standards that put people first. So I am glad to share and reinforce the opinions of 2 very clever, strategic people who agree with that same idea. Let's start with the awards. I'm going to ask a favor. After you receive your award, please stand to the right of the stage for a group photo from our photographer, Bill Blanchard. Right, left, the other left. Sorry. I'm teasing. Now I'm going to make you crazy, but it is to the right. That way. Okay. Aren't you glad you don't have to follow behind me when I'm driving somewhere? So we have some wonderful guest presenters as well, and we'd like to kick off by asking Anthony Baratieri from New Jersey Business Magazine to come on up as the guest presenter for our first award. This is for the semifinalists under 10 million, and it's York Building Services. Accepting this award this afternoon is Robert Rivadeneira, President, CEO, and Harmony Trujillo, the Executive Vice President. This second-generation company, established in 1984 by Alberto Rivadeneira, an immigrant from Ecuador, I'm getting a lesson in Spanish, is driven by their core values of integrity, accountability, and commitment. Alberto came first to the United States because he saw opportunity. And now York Building Services, under the leadership of his son Robert, provides opportunities as well for their employees. Janitorial services are often an invisible workforce, so York works hard to keep their employees in the conversation with innovative training and by using communication apps so that messages are translated into the employees' home language. They provide ESL and financial training to empower their employees. And so I urge you, the next time you look up at that beautiful New York City skyline and you see those high rises all lit up, those lights might indicate that some of the cleaning staff is there working hard to make those buildings beautiful for us all. So congratulations to you.
Now to announce the other semifinalist, under 10 million, Shovelin Mattress Factory. Accepting award, Ron Shovelin. Ron, please come on over. President Kara Shovelin. Shovelin Mattress Factory is under the leadership of a second-generation Ron Shovelin, along with his wife Kara and sons Grayson and Colby. Shovelin prides itself on maintaining the family environment. One of the most important ideas Ron has instilled in the employees is to think like the owner. Giving them the same opportunities as Ron and the family, very, very empowering. The product line at Shovelin is also very unique to the industry. They are constantly watching the industry, but stick to the traditional two-sided mattress, which gives them an edge over the competitions. Shovelin has also developed new products using a combination of both old and new technologies, which is certainly a major differentiator. Most of their business is done in a 5-mile radius of the office business, So it is important to maintain a great reputation in the place they grew up, raising their families and doing business. Once again, thank you very much.
I'd like to ask Les Aaron to come up as the presenter. This is the semifinalist under 10 million, and it's Telecloud. Accepting the award are siblings Damon Finaldi, President, Vincent Finaldi, Vice President, and Kara Misha, Office Director. Telecloud is a 40-year-old second-generation cloud phone systems family-run business. In 2013, after putting in over 10 years of sweat equity, siblings Damon, Vincent, and Kara assumed the key leadership roles from their father, who had founded the business. Telecloud is a family, puts family first. Hard work, integrity, and gratitude are just some of the family values incorporated into the business. As in their family, relationships matter. Their people matter and their customers matter. Company line, as they say, powered by the cloud, but grounded by people. Vincent and Damon love being part of a family-owned business so much, they have even created special content entitled Thought Leadership on Owning and Running a Family-Owned Business from the Owner's Point of View. Congratulations.
Semifinalist over $10 million, AWT Environmental. Please come on up. Peter Poscarino, President, Joe Poscarino, Mario Poscarino. Three brothers comprise the second generation of owners in this family business of environmental service contracting, helping customers operate with a very sensitive ecosystem. Each brother is an equal contributor with distinctly different but equally important responsibilities. They credit their father, founder Mario, for defining their responsibilities by personality and skill set, which allows them to be successful. The Poscarino family has imparted an extended family feel in the company, and they lead by example. There is mutual respect among all employees, from the president to entry-level laborer, and everyone's job is viewed as critical to the company's success. The strong family values are woven throughout the fabric of the company and are an unspoken expectation of all who work for them. Honesty, integrity, and supportive motivation. Their mission statement includes the employees. It is important for their employees to feel respected, secure, and have opportunity for growth. This AWT special sauce has enabled the second generation of brothers to grow the company financially and to grow from a family of 12 employees to now a family of 53 employees. Let's give them a round of applause.
Now you're on the other side, Dennis. You're the presenter instead of the receiver. Come on up. This award is for semifinalist over 10 million, Equilium. And accepting the award is Monty Black, CEO, Bradley Black, Jordan Black, and Shannon Black. Come on up. The Black family is third generation staffing, second generation Equilium. Third generation siblings, Bradley, Jordan, and Shannon, were born and bred for this business by their grandfather and parents, Monty and Linda, who are currently the co-CEOs. They helped out after school, just as you commented, Dale, that it's the people who start from the beginning, right, and build that passion through their whole lives. And they worked through the summers as far back as they can remember. Once joining the firm full-time, they drew on all that experience that they had gathered working from the ground up. It's people first, values-minded, family-run. That's how this company operates, delivering synergy, scalability, and dynamic hiring outcomes to supercharge the success of their clients' businesses and their candidates' careers. They focus on creating inclusive work environments for their employees and flexible workforce populations. Practicing diversity of thought allows individuals to be seen and offers opportunities to the underserved and underrepresented groups. Their commitment is to help people find jobs and to empower their lives. As the family grew, they embraced their own acronym, ESMO. Enough said, move on. So spouses and extended family didn't have to listen to work talk at every Thanksgiving dinner. Congratulations.
So semifinalists over $10 million, the Walter Group. Unfortunately, they weren't able to make it. Some last-minute challenges. But Ed Walters founded the company in 1984 and now runs the two family-owned family business with partner Joe DeLuca and their sons. Walters' custom home division aims to streamline the home building business by creating an easier and more cost-efficient process for buying land, designing, and building custom single-family homes. One-stop shop. Let's give them a round of applause.
Dennis Makula, you are presenting again. This time the award is for the finalist under 10 million. Traphagen CPAs and Wealth Advisors. Accepting this award, Robert Traphagen, Managing Partner, Peter Traphagen Jr., Managing Director and Wealth Advisor. Come on up. For 50 years, Traphagen has served as a dynamic leader and provider of financial services. Founded by Peter Traphagen in 1970, now has 3 generations and 6 family members at the firm. The guiding principle is a personal commitment to provide business and individual success to each client to ensure their financial security, to achieve financial success for the firm, to provide professional and personal development for their associates, and to serve the community. Their crest, dating from the 1670s, was specifically chosen to be prominently displayed in front of the firm's name. This family symbol conveys integrity, fortitude, and personal commitment, and is a fitting representation of the core values and philosophy of the firm. And since we're talking about longevity, we have a fun fact to share with you. In 1704, William Traphagen established the Traphagen Tavern, now the lower level of the Rhinebeck Inn in New York, and it is the oldest tavern in the country. So everybody come by, they've offered to treat to drinks. Oh, wait, no.
So the finalist, over $10 million. Alfred Senzari. Accepting the award, Ryan Senzari, Jeffrey Fuller, Jerry Barda, and Stephen Jennings. Give them a round of applause. For over 75 years, Alfred Senzari Enterprises, ASC, has been one of New Jersey's most respected and successful office, residential, industrial, and hospitality developers and property managers. Born and raised in Hackensack, New Jersey, company founder Alfred Senzari was keenly focused on building a company that could provide his family for generations to come with the financial stability he lacked throughout his childhood. Now in its 3rd generation of family leadership, the company's success can be traced directly to its namesake. Senzari has consistently adhered to a unique legacy ownership strategy that has enabled the firm to retain ownership of over 90% of the assets they have developed since its founding. Pretty incredible. The firm knows that any building they acquire or develop must span generations. The properties within its portfolio have become synonymous with quality construction, timeless design, and meticulous management. Alfred Senzari.
We need a drum roll.
Who's presenting? Dennis? No.
I'm sorry.
Who's president?
You don't have some? Oh, you had,
Oh, you got Robin Silva and Brian Smith. Oh, come on back up. Come on back up.
we need to start again.
We're going to take some pictures.
And then stay here because you're the next one. It's always good to have a practice run. So we're Our next 3 awards are the winners of the 2022 New Jersey Family Business of the Year Awards. The presenters, you'll just stay right there. Okay, thank you. This first award is the winner for the Outstanding New Family Business, and it is FNS Digital. Accepting the award is Francisco Frank Vizcaino Marmol, and Francisco Vizcaino Martinez, and David Rupert. Oh, thank God, David Rupert. I can say that. 13 years ago, Francisco achieved his goal of creating a small business in his home country of the Dominican Republic. When there, he developed a software for school administration, and the company grew as the software was accepted by 10 schools throughout the entire Dominican Republic. Several years later, he had the opportunity to move his family to the United States. The Dominican Republic was going through economic, political, and social instability, so when they were granted resident visas, he made the hardest decision of his life, and he moved his family, but had to give up their growing family business. It took the family several years to get acclimated in the United States, learning a new language, immersing themselves in a new culture, but they were always dreaming of creating another business. When oldest son Francisco received his computer science degree, they finally pursued their entrepreneurial dream. Along with his wife Denora, son Francisco, and nephew Emilio, and niece Lori, they started FNS Digital, an agency centered around creating and supporting custom-built websites, web apps, and mobile apps for companies of all sizes. The core service ensures that no organization or entrepreneur is ever limited by their technical knowledge, nor their team's bandwidth to adapt cutting-edge technology. And in their final words of wisdom, here is what they've said. Most important is to build trust with the customer. Yes means yes, and no means no, and deliver what you promise. Congratulations.
I was so pleased a few years ago, we started the new Family Business of the Year Award because they were competing with 50, 60, 70, 100-year-old businesses. And so we've had other amazing winners. So congratulations. We want to make sure that family businesses continue. So it's an honor to see the incredible people who've won the award. So Tony Rousseau, you're up for presenting. So the winner under $10 million is Roman Jewelers. Give them a round of applause. Sophia Shore, Lucy Zimmerman, Christina Mywalt. Please come up. Since 1989, the jewelry business and their customers have been this family's life work. Sophie and Roman were married in 1970 and arrived in the U.S. in 1980 as immigrants from Belarus and the former Soviet Union. It took 9 years to open the U.S. store, but jewelry has been the family passion for 4 generations. Roman's family was the family of jewelers, but when he said he wanted to pursue a career in jewelry, his father insisted he go to college first and earn a master's degree before pursuing this dream, which he did in civil engineering. This serves him well as he designs and makes jewelry. In 1989, Roman and Sophie owned their own small store with a loan of $100,000, an amazing gift from a stranger at a New York annual jewelry show who entrusted them with some of the finest pieces to get their inventory started and help them open their doors. This instilled in them the value of paying it forward. They just say yes whenever a nonprofit poses a request. All they want to do is help others, and they don't say no. Over the years, they grew that small store, which they now run with their daughter Lucy, but never lost the warm family feel, which remains as the cornerstone of the company. They believe that purchasing jewelry is an experience and a cause for celebration, and this cannot be accomplished with a click of a mouse or the arrival of a brown box at the door. We do not think that's old-fashioned. It's a simple principle to truly embrace and enjoy the finer things in life. To them, work equals love.
Isn't this fun? Whew. This is the final presentation. It is the winner, over $10 million. It's Eastern Janitorial. And accepting the award is Nick Raffanello, the president and CEO. Eastern Janitorial Company was started in 1977 by now President Nick Raffanello's father, Ron. He had married young, but when his young wife died unexpectedly, it changed him as a college student, changed his path forever. His situation attracted the attention of a local parish priest, who asked him to serve as the school's phys ed teacher. The job didn't pay much, so when he ultimately did remarry and begin a family, he needed a part-time job to help him earn some extra money. He became a janitor working at night to make ends meet. And in 1977, he decided to start his own company when he realized it was a financially lucrative opportunity. His son Rick always wanted to come into the company, but as a good dad, he insisted that his son graduate college and gain a strong corporate background. Now, under Nick's strategic direction, they have expanded into several divisions beyond janitorial services related to facility care, such as a flooring division and a handyman division. In close cooperation with the Rutgers SCALE program, Eastern provides jobs for high-functioning autistic adults, providing them with opportunities to pursue a meaningful and fulfilling career. Nick, like his father before him, believes that client satisfaction is paramount. Their success is the result of an unwavering focus on a single, simple, guiding principle. In their words, find the best people, then train and support them with the latest industry tools. We try to be an employer of choice at all levels in the company, they say, so that every employee will spend an entire career here. And it's fun when you're not watching the clock. Congratulations.
I'm pleased to announce New Jersey Business Magazine will do a feature article on all the honorees in our December issue. And I've invited all of you to be guests on my show, Family Business World. Now, we're going to do something we haven't done. Now, we want to invite everybody to get up and go over here. We want a picture of the whole group. You are all winners. We want to celebrate that, so let's bring everyone up. And on this Friday, we have our Zoom at noon. We're going to have some of our winners on the show. So please, we'll make sure you get all the link. You all get the link and watch the show at 12 noon. So come on over.